PXG has just released its newest Better Player Distance iron. This is the 0317T, and I think is one of the most interesting golf clubs PXG has ever made. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. Let's start with the basics, the construction and the materials. The 0317T is triple forged from 8620 carbon steel, a very, very soft material. Now, better players tend to like forged irons more than cast irons. Cast irons being poured liquid metal into molds. The forging process really allows the elongation of the strands of the steel under high pressure. And that, for many players, creates an enhanced sense of feel. Now, after the forging process is completed, PXG then mills the faces, the hitting areas, to be completely flat, and then mills in the individual grooves into the hitting area. The company also then mills the back section to get the precise shape that the designers were looking for. And if you look closely, you can see tiny little lines going back and forth over the back of the head. Those are created during the milling process when a computer-controlled high-speed bit passes back and forth, shaving off tiny little ribbons of material. Now, again, the advantage of going with milling, which is a very expensive process, is you get a very, very precise recreation of what the designers and the engineers were looking for. It is the most precise method to creating golf clubs. But to me, what sets this iron apart from every other iron for better players that PXG has created recently is the fact that this is a hollow body iron. Now, it looks like a solid body iron. When Bob Parsons originally founded PXG, he wanted to create irons for players who typically shoot in the 80s and the 90s that look like they belong in the bag of somebody who shoots in the 70s. That was the aspiration. With the creation of the 0317T, I think that PXG has come just about as close to what Bob Parsons originally wanted to do as they ever have before. Yes, the 0311 family of clubs is going to create a little bit more distance than the 0317T, and in just a second I'm going to tell you why. But this is a club that looks like it would belong in a PGA Tour player's bag. This club looks like it should be in the bag of an LPGA star, an established, really elite ball striker. But the fact that it's hollow makes it very, very unique, something totally different than the 0317 Super Tour, the ST models that came out earlier in 2023. Now, as it has in the past, PXG has filled the hollow chamber inside the 0317T iron with a polymer. But what's interesting is that this is a different polymer that is found in other PXG irons. You see, the 0311 series of irons, in this case we're now into the Gen 6, is really designed for players who are looking to protect ball speed, who want more distance, who are looking for more forgiveness. The 0317T is designed for a different type of player, so PXG went with a different type of polymer. Whereas in the 0311s, we have got X-Core, a material that's super elastic that really is, again, designed to protect ball speed and create a broader, larger sweet spot. S-Core has been added to the 0317T, and S-Core is really something that's good at soaking up excessive vibration, so it improves the feel of the moment of impact, but it's really going to create more consistency across the hitting area. And for more accomplished golfers, that's something that's really important. Whereas golfers who shoot in the high 80s, the 90s, and the 100s are looking for more forgiveness and to get the ball further down range, golfers who are pretty good generally are going to want to shape shots, and when they do that, whether it's a draw or a fade or high or low, they want to be able to control spin. And so if they mishit the ball slightly and get it right outside of the ideal hitting area, they want to be able to still create the spin and create the shot shape that they're looking for. According to PXG, the addition of S-Core polymer inside the heads helps them do that. To help draw the ideal hitting area more into the sweet spot and to offset the weight of the hosel, PXG has also added a small piece of tungsten out here in the toe. It runs vertically. It really doesn't have too much to do with lowering the center of gravity. It's much more, in the case of the 0317T, offsetting the weight of the hosel and pulling the ideal hitting spot right into the middle of the face. Another thing that golfers, especially accomplished golfers, are really going to like about the 0317T is the fact that it has this very large weight in the back. Now, we have seen this from PXG in the past. This large weight, which is not really designed to be adjusted by consumers, is so that custom fitters during the fitting process can swap the weights out and try different swing weights during the fitting very, very easily. Most golfers have never really tinkered around or tried getting fit for different swing weights, and going basically with a heavier head or a lighter head can really change the performance of an iron. Coupled that with different types of shafts and different lofts, and having an adjustable swing weight in the back of the head makes a lot of sense, and it makes it a really interesting tool during the fitting process. So one of the things I think that's going to be very interesting is having players, better players, trying to decide which iron they're going to prefer, the 0317T or going back into the 0311 and the P iron, which is the better players, the performance iron. They are constructed differently. The 0311 P has X-Core, which is, again, as I explained, that distance enhancing ball protection polymer on the inside, whereas the 0317T has a little bit more of that spin retention, that consistency type polymer on the inside of it. From a size perspective, the 0317T is going to be a little bit smaller, but from an MOI perspective, the stability standpoint, the 0311P will be off the charts. You're really going to have to want to consider what your major priority is. If shot shaping is your biggest priority, you're really not overly concerned about trying to get more distance, then the 0317T is probably going to be the fit for you. If you're a better player who is looking for more of a pure better player distance iron, that you want to be longer through the bag, that you really feel you're going to need a little bit of extra help on miss hits, and that's trying to shore up your miss hits is your biggest priority, then you're probably going to want to be thinking about the 0311P iron. But that is going to be something that you're going to want to talk about and work through with your custom fitter. So that's the 0317T iron from PXG. Let me know in the comment area below what you think. Is this an iron that you would be interested in trying out? Is this something that has piqued your interest in maybe trying out a set of PXG irons? If you've got PXG irons, I definitely want to hear what you think about these clubs. It would also be fantastic if you would consider subscribing to my channel, as well as hitting the bell button so you get notifications when I've got new content coming out. There are still many, many more clubs coming out this fall and many more things heading into the holiday season. I can't believe we're almost there. You're definitely going to want to stay tuned and know about those videos when they come out. Thanks a lot for watching.